Yeah, proud of our guys. I think we had a 3-hour and 15-minute rain delay after the first 12 minutes of action, and came out of that very eager to continue to play, and our guys played really hard. Was disappointed in the offense early. The first three, they had 3 drives before the rain delay, and had 160 yards of offense to Lamar's 6, and yet we still only led 7-0 because we stubbed our toe in the red zone a couple times, similar to what we did the previous week. So we got to get those red zone issues fixed. But was proud of the offense for the way they responded after the rain delay and really put the game away after a few drives there after the rain delay. And then can't say enough about the defense. I don't know that I've ever been a part of a game and where, regardless of who you're playing, to have a defense hold a team to 72 or whatever it was total yards, and I believe Lamar did not cross the 50 one time. That was an unbelievable performance. And again, you're playing your 2s, 3s, sometimes even 4s there late in the game, and had it. A lot of teams would have given up some cheap yards late in the game, but our defense, from the starters to all the way to the 3rd and 4th string guys, played really well. Excited to go on the road for the first time this year, playing a great opponent in Cincinnati at a very hostile environment on a Thursday night. It's short weeks. These are tough. To play a game on a Saturday and then come right back on Sunday and have it basically be the Tuesday of a game week. That's a pretty quick turnaround, but we've got 4 of these this year. We've got 3 Thursday night games and a Friday night game, so we better get used to it, and just excited to challenge ourselves once again against one of the better teams in our conference.
Take questions for Coach Herman. Please star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
And we'll first go to Tom Groshen from Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hey, Coach. Could you just talk a little bit about Cincinnati, what you've seen in them, a few specifics, and also, of course, it's a bit of a homecoming for you, being from here. If you could talk about that a little bit, please.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. I want this game to be about our players and our team and about preparing to win the game. Cincinnati, I think, is definitely improved on both sides of the ball, which is scary because they were really good on offense last year. But I see a lot of improvement on the defensive side. Their inside guys, their D tackles appear to be in much better shape. They're quicker and moving around well. Their 2 safeties are dynamic players that make a lot of tackles for them, and they seem to know where to be, and they're lined up right, and they're in the right gaps, and they're playing really, really smart defense. And then on the offensive side, as it was last year, and I'm sure will continue to be in years to come. Obviously the offense runs through that quarterback, and he's a heck of a player. But I do think that they're running the ball better than in years past, and they're still they've got big, giant offensive linemen that are going to present a challenge for our defense.
Thank you.
And we'll go to David Ubben from Sports on Earth.
Tom, I don't know if you saw the ending of Oklahoma State and Central Michigan or heard about it, but regardless, in very special situations, would you like there to be some sort of protocol or committee that you could submit to review the end of a game? As the rules state right now, any game that's final can't be overturned, but would you like there to be an avenue for at least some discussion in special cases?
That's the first time I've been asked that, David, but yeah, I think, anytime you have a chance to right a wrong that is very definable, I think it needs to be very special circumstances, such as, truly the last play of the game or something like that. Then, if a wrong can be righted and can be righted without any speculation as to what would have happened then beyond that wrong being righted, then I think all of us coaches would be in favor of getting it right, whether it's after the game or during the game.
Any games over your career that stick out that you would have liked to have submitted?
No, not off the top of my head. Again, I mean, you're talking about maybe in the hundreds of games played a year, or maybe one a year, maybe one every 2 years, where something like that happens. So it's very, very rare for something like that at the truly the end of the game, last play of the game for that to happen. So I can't recall any in my career.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
And we'll now go to Dan Tortora from wakeupcalldt.com.
Hi, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. You kind of alluded to it a little bit in the beginning when you were talking about your defense and how proud you are of them. There's been so much focus on Ward and then on the offense last season, this season, and so on and so forth. What can you say about not just the last game, but what this defense has shown you since you got to Houston and how they've grown?
Oh, man. I mean, it's the backbone of our team. I know Greg and the offense get a lot of the press clippings, and I think our defense would prefer it that way, to be honest with you. But, we have 4, kind of goals or we call them the plan to win, and the very first one is play great defense. And I don't know of any championship team, whether it's conference championship, national championship, Super Bowl championship team, that hasn't played great defense. And, I'm proud of the growth. I'm proud of, how they've filled in for, we had a lot of guys that had a lot of snaps under their belt here at the University of Houston, walk out the door the day after the Peach Bowl. And we had some holes to fill, and not quite there yet in the secondary, continuing to get better there, but very pleased with Matt Adams and his production in replacing Landon Roberts. And the safeties played a much better game than they did against Oklahoma. And so, I appreciate you recognizing that, because, again, to me, they're the backbone of our team.
And then as far as you spoke on the depth, when you're in a game like you were this past week, where you're playing your third string, your fourth string, and they're coming in, what does it say about the depth of the team that you were able to, obviously you're not playing in Ohio State or whatnot, but to keep a shutout and to obviously prove that some of these guys that are fighting to get an opportunity out there do have something to give? What does it say to you about how deep this team really goes?
Well, especially on defense, I think is accurate. Those are invaluable reps for some of those young guys to get in there and get game experience. And you're right. A lot of times, a lot of places I've been, that comes at the cost of, surrendering some yards or some points there late in the game, because some guys aren't ready to play, or some guys are, they have mental bust or what have you. And so credit to Coach Orlando and the defensive staff for preparing those, second, third, even sometimes fourth string guys to be ready when their number's called to step up and continue to play great defense.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we have time for one more for Coach Herman, please.
We'll go to John Altavilla from Hartford Courant.
Coach, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how you spent the time during the rainout and what you had your assistants do to keep the players' minds intact.
Yeah, 3 hours and change is a long time. The first 20, 30 minutes was, I'd say the first 5-10 minutes were the coaches talking to each other, our strength staff and support staff in the locker room with the kids, just kind of letting them know what was going on. The coaches kind of regrouping a little bit and figuring out what they wanted to go talk to their players about. Then we spent about 20 minutes, talking position coach to position, maybe the offensive coordinator. I think Coach Applewhite called the offense up at one point and spoke to them as a whole, and the same with Coach Orlando. But after that, after about 30 minutes, you're running out of things to talk about. And especially with the rain delay happening so early in the game. And so we just really kind of let them be. We let them, take their shoulder pads off. They took their tape off their wrists and ankles and, put their headphones on, treated it, as much like a pregame as we could. Some guys took a nap. I mean, there were guys literally asleep in the locker room, and because you don't know how long those things are going to last. And so you don't want to get them up every time they say, hey, we're down to 20 minutes, and you get them up, and then, 3 minutes later they say, okay, hey, we're resetting back to 30 minutes. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that happens. So we wanted it down to about 10 minutes. They start the countdown of 30 minutes every time a lightning strikes within so many miles. And so, our guys just really relaxed. We got a bunch of food and Powerade and water and all that stuff, and just, let the guys kind of chill out in the locker room.